Good morning. Here's a recap of lesson 1-7, talking about adding and subtracting fractions that do not have common denominators. So I'm going to start with a problem. This is actually from your homework and remembering. This is number 1. And the problem is 1/3 plus 1/2. In the last lessons we talked about how we can find a common denominator, and sometimes we do that by finding the least common multiple to help us find those common denominators. We also sometimes can take the product of the two numbers, so 3 times 2 is 6. And then in other cases, one of the denominators may be a factor of the other, and we can use that. But that's not the case here. I could multiply them together, 3 times 2, or I can list the multiples. I do know that with numbers like 2 is even, and I can count 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, and 3 is odd, so I know that the first multiple that they're going to have in common is going to be 3 times 2, because the multiples of 3 are 3, 6, 9. So I'm going to list those there, 2, 4, 6, and then we have 3, 6, 9. So we can see that this 6 right here is our least common multiple. And we can call that the LCM, and it is 6. So 6 is what I'm going to use as my denominator. So I need to figure out how to get 1/3 to a fraction over 6, and I need to get 1/2 to a fraction over 6. So I have to multiply by a fraction equal to 1, because that's how we're able to change the way the fraction looks, but not change the value of the fraction. So 1/3, 3 times 2 is 6. I do the same thing to the numerator as I do to the bottom. 2 times 3 is 6. I'm going to multiply by 3, numerator and denominator, because those need to not change the value. Anytime we multiply by 1, we don't change the value. 1 times 3 is 3, and 1 times 2 is 2. So now I'm going to rewrite my problem as 2 6 plus 3 6, and my answer becomes 5 6. So I'm going to do one more for you, and that's going to also be one that has not common denominators, but I want to do one that we'll do number 2. This will help you with your homework. This is a little bit different. We look at our denominators, they are not the same, which means that we need to take and change them. So I know that counting by 5s or multiples of 5s, 5, 10, 15, oh, I already said the other denominator. So I don't need to multiply these two together. That would make 50, and that's a lot. So what I'm going to do instead is I'm going to use this 10, because if I think about multiples of 5, it's 5, 10, 15, 20, and so on. But I have this 10 right here, so that's what I'm going to use. I only need to change 1/5 to get it to a fraction with a denominator of 10. Again, I like to think about this like if I was adding apples plus oranges. I can't do that. Those are two different things, just like tenths and fifths are two different things. I need to make them compatible. So 5 times something gives me 10. I know that's 2. I do the same thing to the numerator. 1 times 2 is 2, and I end up with 2/10 is an equivalent fraction to 1/5. I can now add them together. Again, the 7/10 did not change, but the 2/10 now looks like that. I add just the numerator, 7 plus 2 is 9, and the denominator stays the same. So the answer for that problem would be 9/10.